Okay, so I just got back home from my Fuji trip a couple days ago, and the cool thing is that the snow is still here, but I'm not in Fuji anymore, I'm in Tokyo. So this last night it snowed, not a lot, but for Tokyo it's quite nice. Now it's everything melted, but tomorrow morning it was everything snowed. And I wanted to do this video for a long time, but I think now it's the correct time, so I prepared a few things for you. Let's go! I'm gonna be at home today, so I normally put some music on my speaker and start doing things like cleaning, doing laundry and everything, so maybe it's a fun video if I do this kind of home tasks. But I'm gonna talk with you a bit about moving to Tokyo, or if you're thinking about to move to Tokyo or Japan in general, maybe this video is good for you. It's my third month here, so I'm gonna talk about everything around that, myths and things that maybe in the internet it's a lot of misunderstanding stuff, so you will like to see and hear about me. Okay, so it's been living in Japan for about 3 months right now, and this is a video that I really wanted to make. So this video is for people who have the interest and visited Japan as a tourist and are thinking about living here, or maybe for those who never been here but have always that feeling of wanted to live here in Japan in a moment of their life. So to share things from my personal experience as subjectively as I want and as possible it is, that I think people should seriously consider it before coming to Japan. And this is a video that I really wanted to make it. So let's go. You are going to help me to make the laundry right now, and let's talk about more things together. So one of the most complicated topics when moving to Japan, I think it's housing. Finding an apartment from outside of the country, it's extremely difficult. And I think it's the mainly concern of a tourist or person from outside of Japan that wants to come here. Many listings online are not actually available. Maybe it can make a misunderstanding of the things you look in the pictures and it's in real life in another way. Maybe old housing that looks reformated, but it's not like that. Or required to maybe to already being in Japan to apply. So I think that's a huge problem. In my case, for example, my original plan was to stay in a hotel for the first month maybe, or first month and a half, but because my visa currently allows me to be for a maximum of 1 year here in Japan, I choose a fully furnished apartment from the beginning. I changed some things, and I bring it some others, but that decision removed a huge amount of stress for me, because from the first day I'm available to do everything I wanted. I started looking for a job, for example, and I didn't have to deal with Japanese contracts or appearances, and I could focus on way to came to Japan in first place. So that was a very interesting moment for me. It was expensive also, but you get what you pay, so that was a very good movement for me. Something very important to understand is that visiting Japan as a tourist for maybe 2-3 weeks is not the same that living here. Hold a second, I will put you here. So daily life means working, doing chores, and that stuff that it's kind of boring sometimes, but you will need to do it in whatever part of the world you were. So, and having responsibilities and that stuff, it's a kind of a thing that you don't have when you are tourism and having holidays in a place. And anywhere else it's gonna be like that, and Japan is also that way. Sometimes maybe if you need to do things, that paperwork and that stuff, it's gonna be several weeks doing the same. I'm speaking from my perspective of someone who came to Japan to work and to build a life in a sense, but I'm not expecting to be more than a year here. I wanted to be, but my plan is not to be more than a year because I don't have more than a visa of 1 year. So the reality is like that. If you come alone, for example, your daily life can feel very, very lonely, solitary at first, I will say. Because socializing does not happen naturally here in Japan. I mean, it's normal, I think, when you have a huge barrier of languages here. They don't know too much English, to be honest, and you need to actually put the effort to build a routine and meet some people. Maybe if you have a basic Japanese, you can hang around for some bars, some clubs, and maybe you will find some socialized way to meet some people. But from my personal experience, it's not my best way to do it, so I prefer to meet some people in a more relaxed way and not to force everything to be like to search for friends. Always is a good thing to socialize with your work colleagues because it's a good way to improve Japanese. It's a good way to socialize a bit in a different way that to make the work more efficient and more funny sometimes. Maybe in 30 minutes it's gonna be dark, or maybe in an hour, so the sun is going down and my light space it's limited. But I wanted to talk about work culture. It's another big adjustment for many people here. Some people expect to be worse than it is, and I read some full of super disinformation about that in the internet. I mean, by law, companies are only required to give you 1 day off per week. Overtime is a culture that exists in many workplaces where staying late is very normal. I mean, for Japanese people working for a Japanese company, it's normal to stay maybe for more hours than expected. If a normal work day it's around 8 hours, maybe you can be 10 hours. But that's a thing that it's currently normal in Japan and in the past also. But I think it's going down in a good way because you are not required to be more than the hours that you are gonna be paid. So because of this, some people try to work for foreign or international companies based in Japan. And as a foreigner, I say it. Some Japanese people, of course, also work for that companies. But I think the life can be good in a good balance. I mean, if you have a contract to work 40 hours, you should need to work for 40 hours. But if you want to come to Japan, you can expect to work for 10 hours. And if you're not gonna say anything, that's what you are going to do. I mean, you can also talk with your boss and some stuff, but be careful reading the contract because sometimes you can sign a term that it says that if you're gonna work for more hours, you're not gonna pay it and it's your volunteer. I mean, it's not a guarantee, but it's an alternative that many people don't know exists. They're working for a foreign company and it's being more popular here in Japan because a lot of companies are investing in Japan. And that's a good way to think to work here. Some people start working for a company in their countries and after some months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, they have an option because it's maybe an international company, so they have the option to ask for a transfer to Japan. So that's a good option. Maybe if you want to come here temporarily, you can be here probably for whatever you want, because if the company makes you a work visa, it's gonna be up to you. But we're gonna talk about visas now. So when it comes to visas, I want to focus on the one that the most people actually see. Working holiday visas are common for younger people, probably in most of the countries up to 30 years old, including 30 years old, and other flexibility, and it's easy to get them because they have a sponsorship with both countries, Japan and, for example, Spain, or Japan, Chile, Japan, Denmark, a lot of countries have the working holiday visa, and some of them you can stay more than a year. I mean, you can extend the visa. But in my case in Spain, I have the working holiday visa, but it's maximum to 1 year stay. That's what it is. Student visas are popular for those who want to study Japanese seriously. I mean, a lot of people at my age, I think they have the student visa, but you're gonna prepare some good money. And if you want to really live here and carry with all your expenses, I think it's not a good way to be here, because you're gonna study like in high school, maybe 6-8 hours per day, 5 days a week, and you can only work 28 hours a week. That it's not too bad, but you are not gonna have free time for you, and you are not gonna enjoy Japan as much as maybe you want. So for me that was not an option, and the school is like a private school for learning languages, so I would recommend you maybe to do online lessons as I do, and that's a better way to have time, spend that time going outside, talking with people, going to a restaurant, going to some shops, and you will get more funny things, but that's up to you. I mean, after that, third type of visa, it's a work visa, the regular work visa. It requires a company to sponsor you, which is often the hardest step. But as I mentioned before, you can have a transfer from your company in your home country to Japan, because maybe most of you people work for an international company. So maybe they can do this for you. And the most famous one, and the people that stay living here for 10 years, 15 years, 5 years, is the spouse visa. That exists, but there's a lot of misinformation around them. Getting married is not the only way to stay in Japan, and it's not a magical solution, because most of the people come here like that kind of stereotype of tech developer, being lonely here, married to a Japanese person, and that's all, permanent visa. But it's a common way to see some people around 30s, 40s being here like that, and you will see the type of people that it is. I'm not judging, but it's common here. And Japan also have a point-based system for permanent residency, that it's a good way if you want to live here, if you try to live here and you decide to be here for more years. It's a good way to get them, but you need to be a high-skilled professional, and it's based on education, like your university degree, the income maybe, and experience, I think. So maybe you need to be, I don't know exactly, but I think you need to be in a list of top universities on the world, having a degree that is demanded right now for professionals in Japan. So in that way they can sponsor you the visa, because Japan needs right now a lot of professional like tech developers, like I don't know exactly, but I will put here a good list of high-skilled professionals that Japan are looking for. If you're one of them and you are thinking about Japan, check about that visa. And you will need also, I think, a proficiency language test. So if at the most points you get, the most probability you have for being able to this type of visa. And I mean, it's a good way if you have all the requirements, so check it. And after that stuff, if you decide and you have the option of having one of that visas and come to Japan, the good and funny thing is that another shock for many people is that the cost of moving to an apartment or to a house in Japan, it's very expensive. As I said, I will talk always about my background in Spain. So initial fees can be very, very high. Some agencies ask for key money, agency fees, guarantor fees, and several months of rent upfront. If you want to look about more that information, that it's a fully background, I will put in the description some info about that. But in extreme cases, people are asked to pay the equivalent of 6 to 9 months before moving. I mean, I was asking for some apartments in another company I'm here, and they asked me literally for 9 months of rent, and I was like, calm down, calm down. So it's normal for me to pay maybe agency fee, to pay a month prior of renting and sign of another month or something like that. But many people are completely unaware of this before coming to Japan. It's a huge amount of money that maybe they will ask for you, and in the best case you will get to spend also quite big money if you want a good apartment, good conditions. But you have also the option that I mentioned you before, that I wanted to do it, to come to a hotel for a month or for a month and a half and try to get a house or a flat being a foreigner here in Japan. But it's gonna be super difficult, because that's another problem in Japan, that most of the householders don't want foreign people in their flats. So it's kind of difficult step also to get a house, like a local pay house. Maybe it's super difficult, so it's gonna be a completely mess, but obviously it's not impossible. If you want to come here to Japan and you have a small budget, maybe it's the option you need to do, and you need to try it. If you don't try it, it's not gonna be possible. So that's up to you and your motivation. It's gonna be your final result. And a personal recommendation: if you want to live in Japan, prepare the Japanese language before coming. Is very important. But even more important is having genuine respect for culture and having real interest in culture. Lately I've seen many tourists who are coming to Japan because it's trendy and without any real interest in local manners or social norms, anything. They don't want to visit shrines, they don't want to learn about culture, food, whatever it is. I mean, everyone can do their own things. I'm not gonna enter in that theme, but you don't need to be fluent before arriving. But coming with a basic foundation helps a lot. Maybe coming with a JLPT and 5 and 4, I think it's a good way. Starting for zero makes everything harder, while living here with some basics pushes you to improve much faster. I'm super glad of having my work colleagues because they are super nice with me. I'm learning Japanese as much as I can. It's difficult, of course, but it's super nice to improve every time. That's a good way to improve the languages, and real conversation and not just a textbook and a workbook. It's gonna be nice on you. You're gonna learn a lot living here, communicate with some people, and failing. For me it's working, so why not for you? So Japan is not extremely hostile toward foreigners, but it's also not overly accommodating. You don't need perfect Japanese to live here, but effort matters. You will be more grateful if you learn Japanese, and you will see if you come here because you want to be one of them, integrate, and it's not the things that we are looking in Europe. That seems like we need to do what the immigrants want. And it is possible to stay in Japan for a long term, but it requires planning and patience if you want to be here in a good way. Daily life here, it's not like an anime. It can be calm, structured, lonely at times, but also very safe and rewarding for the right person. And that's the most thing that I love from Japan. I can be super happy here because I don't think I'm a lonely person, but I like to share a lot of things with some people. But it's a good country to focus on yourself, to see your low points in your life to improve a new language that for me it was super strange why I want to learn Japanese, but now it's being more common in my daily life, and you need to live your life. I think it's a topic to say that, but I mean, if you are young, and also if you're not young, if you want to live your life, try to do whatever you want and not what they want for you. And that's the best recommendation I can say to you. And I'm having that thoughts for several years. I'm working for a regular job, but I'm doing other stuff that I love, and it can also make me more money, but I'm doing whatever I want. And here in Japan, I'm super happy. I'm not learning to build a business here, but I wanted to share with you some points about moving here, because I know more people and more people it's coming here for tourism, and they imagine themselves living here for maybe temporarily like me, like for 1 year. And I would recommend you 100%. If you have any doubts about something that I talk in the video, but I can explain everything in a deeply way because it's gonna be a 1-hour video. If you have any doubts and I can solve them, you can ask me in the other social media that you have in the description. I will put also in the description the things that I wanted to talk more in concrete, but I can explain everything in video, as I say. So that's all for today. Tokyo is snow today. I'm at home chilling a bit, doing the video because I wanted to upload something. As you see in the beginning of the video, that was my Fuji trip, my Fuji snow trip. But I didn't record anything like vlogging. I was just disconnecting a bit, and it was so fun and so nice. But I wanted to include also in my memories here. And that's all. I don't want to talk more with you. Thanks to be one more Sunday with me, and have a good week, have a good life, and think about if you are doing the things that you want to do, or you are doing the things that they want you to do. So bye bye.